At this pivotal time in humanity's evolution, we are beginning to remember our organic technology. A technology, when used correctly, can create an experience that the majority of the people the world over want to live. It is time to use this technology consciously for our own benefit and healing, and no longer unconsciously for our own demise. We are divine creators, creating both our own personal experience and our collective experience moment to moment. We invite you to join us as we reawaken this technology through experiment and experience our power to create and manifest. Become part of the 3%. Hello to our beautiful 5D family. Oh, welcome to this week's Collective Imagination Show. We're on a skeleton staff this week. It's just Bob and myself. How you doing, Bob? He is there, people. He's just unmuting. Bob!
You missed me sing.
You what?
You missed me sing. It's too late. It's gone now.
Oh, yes, the moment has passed.
I was just the two of us.
44 years. It's been a happy union. He does laundry and...
That wasn't me.
Sorry.
And I think we do have Judy lurking in the background there.
I had to get off of the whole show because I didn't mute it in time, so I just clicked it off and I tried to get it back on and didn't realize that there was this whole thing first. So, yeah, I don't know how to mute the Skype. Sorry. I have to get there.
There's a little microphone underneath your picture you can click.
Okay, we'll do that. Thank you.
No problem.
So,
and welcome, Judy.
Yes,
Hi,
welcome.
honey. How are you? Hi, Lisa.
It's been an interesting week or so. And we touched on it a little bit yesterday on the One People show, the energies that we're all feeling, this Lionsgate period that we're going through. And I know so many people who just, including myself, who are getting really knocked around by it. And so we wanted to hear from our listeners too, what's going on with you guys? How are you feeling it? This is really, really physical, for me at least. If you were listening in yesterday, you already know that I've been sick. Still am. There's an awful lot of clearing and cleansing and purging happening. And something happened yesterday. It was at 3 o'clock Queensland time, Queensland Australia time, in the afternoon, almost on the dot of 3 o'clock. And this energy burst happened in my chest. And I was just walking with Vera and Mulchi. And I stopped and I just went, whoa, something just happened. This is weird. Something really happened. And within a minute, this energy rush went right through my body, down to my toes, and I got very, very disoriented, almost like I was pulled out of my body a little bit. Wasn't there. I mean, the girls were talking to me, and it was like, yeah, please leave a message because there's nobody home. And then the aches started, full-on body aches. And even now, still, I feel like I ran a marathon yesterday. It's that residual soreness after you've really, really pushed yourself physically, which I can assure you I have not done. And these moments have been just happening sort of furiously, thick and fast over the last week or so. What's going on with you guys? How is it sort of progressing for you?
For me, it's been also very physical. Like I said yesterday, I was completely out of it. I felt like there was a ton of bricks lying on top of me. Achy. I've had a headache. Well, the headache actually kind of went away today. But before that, I've had a headache for a week straight, and I'm not one to get headaches. And just, I've been up and down, but I have this feeling like, the horse at the racing gate, and then at the next day, I feel like I'm I just want to crawl in my bed and just like crawl into a fetal position and just do nothing. So, and everything in between those two states.
Sheila just wrote that she keeps falling asleep all the time. Yep, that too. I slept for probably 12 hours last night, and I just don't do that. If I get 6, I've done well. And Bill, American Kabuki, he's falling asleep and having these 3 or 4 hour naps constantly, all throughout the day. What about you, Judy? Now she's muted herself. She figured out how to mute herself and can't figure out how to unmute.
Hi, everybody. Sorry, I was sitting outside and the neighbor kids decided that they were going to, like, bang on stuff. And I was like, oh, my gosh, I got to take it inside so I can actually talk. No, I feel like I've been through so many of these things, you know, off and on. It just seems like I don't, like, follow the same timeline. This past week has actually been really great for me. So it's been, you know, I went through a period a couple weeks ago that I felt like really down and, you know, energetically really, really low. But I'm noticing more, it's almost as if I'm trying to, or my higher self is trying to pull me into another, you know, a higher realm of communication with my body. And I'm not sure how to get there. I don't know what's blocking me, but I know something is. So it's interesting. But no aches and pains. I'm not even tired, which I usually am. So, you know, pretty much all good here.
Well, it looks like, judging from what's going on in the chat room, that sleep is a big theme. People are doing a lot more of that. And, yeah, these roller coaster moments emotionally where even some of the callers yesterday said that they've been really struggling lately, you know, feeling down. But what I'm finding is it's a real roller coaster. I mean, these moments hit, but they don't last very long. Have an epiphany or some sort of realization, and then I can let it go and I'm way back up again. And then the next one hits. So it's a real roller coaster. But we've got a few more people who we are going to pull in and get their perspective on it too. Bob, can you just call Sherry?
I can.
Great. Sherry's one of the co-hosts on the new show on this network, Elemental Evolution. And I'm interested to see what she has to say about it, what's going on energetically too. And we've got quite a few callers, so I think we're going to have a pretty good conversation around this.
Hello, Sherry.
Hi there.
Hey, sweetie, there's echo.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, that's better.
Okay.
So what is happening with this energy that's going on? I mean, from what I understand, you're pretty good at reading the energies.
Yeah.
So tell me, explain to me what's happening to me.
Well, and it's really, I mean, it's just now hitting, like it's now at the head, right? But it's been coming for the last few months, and especially since Venus came into play, and now the solar flares are coming true, and they're hitting dynamically, right? The planet is in shift. And so what's happening to our bodies and what we're dealing with in our relationships and all these other things, it's like all those last pieces of stuff that, you know, like the crap that's in your body, the residue, the solidness that's stuck there because of traumas throughout your life and all these things that we're generating from and experiencing, they're being cleared out whether you're conscious of it or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so all of a sudden you're having all these crazy experiences, but it's really just, it's like an overflow of projection. The energy
sometimes quite literally running to the bathroom and literally clearing out.
Yes. Yes, and it's not just, so it can go all kinds of ways, like having diarrhea, having to pee like 25,000 times, being totally dehydrated. You can get the vertigo, you can have, I mean, I could go down a list of all kinds of physical symptoms that everybody's running to the doctor for. And what's happening is that those are the unconscious, right? They're not aware of the vibration, but they're getting to feel it. It doesn't matter, right? It's like, it's not a choice. This is a planet of free will, so we can choose to stay and we can ride the wave and we can throw up and shit our pants or do whatever it is. Excuse me. Or, sorry. Or we can allow it to flow through our body and we can really come into our being, right? Because it can't do it. You cannot evolve. You cannot fully awaken until this stuff is cleared out of the body.
Is there anything we can do to either, I don't know, just assist us in getting through it a little gentler?
Well, a lot of water, first of all. That's really important. And people think, oh, I'm drinking tons of water. But what happens is your body goes into, when it's like taking a heavy dose of something, right? When those energies come into the body, it has its own natural kind of organic way of allowing it to flow through the body so it doesn't kill you.
Yep.
Right? And so it shuts down certain areas in the body, like your ability to absorb water. So one of the things that's really important is that people have citric acid, right? And if they're taking meds, they have to be cautious because you can't have a lot of citric acid because it opens it up and pushes the med through also. But if you're not on any meds and you're trying to clear out your body, you do the lemon water and you don't do just a little. Like you take half that lemon and you squeeze it in there and then you drop it in there and you drink that for a day. And keep that going through the body so that that citric acid will break down the blockage. And it's almost, and then you have other things that are going on. It shoots the synapse in the spine, which is, that's our main. It's like it's trying to start the engine. It's giving you a jump. And so in meditation, I am not always as good about it as I preach to other people, but I know that I should be because it works. It's just kind of tuning in and allowing yourself to kind of calmly flow into the energy, kind of become into the energy instead of it knocking you on.
I think what Judy said before, pay attention to what your body's telling you. When you feel like you need to rest.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Sleeping for days. I've seen people where they'll sleep 14 hours, wake up, eat something, and go back to bed.
I did that for what felt like months.
And it takes. I think I did it for probably 5 weeks myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's even seeing what's happening. It doesn't stop it. It's coming. Evolution is upon us. And you're right. That's watching. Our body's telling us. Mm-hmm. It will tell you everything.
What I've been noticing lately with me, what I was talking about earlier, like my body's trying to tell me something. It's trying to give me, unlock a new level of communication. And it's in these chills. It's not chills as in sick chills. It's in a message. I get these chills throughout my body, especially when I'm doing readings, but even when I'm talking to people now. And I can feel messages trying to come through. And why I'm laughing is because sometimes it'll go up into my head, and it's like, I'm trying to tell you something. Can you please wake up?
Actually, that's something that's been getting these two too. Sorry, Vera and Mushy have been complaining about these, almost like a hot flush, but it's this hot energy rush that goes through them, and then they get the cold, and then they get another hot one, and Vera's somebody who really, really feels the cold. I thought I did until I met Vera. And yesterday she was getting around in a t-shirt. That's just not like her. But her body was just overheating from the inside.
I've been doing that too, even after, and I've had the whole, hot flashes and been through that whole thing, and I can tell the difference. There is a difference.
And if you think about it,
it sounds like a whole bunch of pregnant women.
I know.
Or menopausal women.
But here's what's interesting about that is if you kind of if you think about what a hot flash does and how it is really working in the body, it's like getting a fever, right? It's assisting the body more than it's actually a hindrance. And so it's almost like if you can look at it as an experience of pushing you through those places that you were stuck, right? Like the emotions that you just couldn't quite tap into, that were holding you back, that were doing things that weren't quite in your realm of reality, that's what's being released from the body right now.
Kind of that birth canal thing we were talking about last night, Lisa.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. I mean, I really do believe in this inner technology that we've got.
Absolutely.
And that's what's being switched on right now. And so we set intention yesterday to just manifest a crystal. And sure enough, we found one this morning in the bottom of the washing machine. And there's yesterday. That's actually a bit of a segue into this.
Are you there?
Hello? Are we talking?
Hello?
Lisa? Into what, hon?
I think we lost her.
I think she just dropped off.
Yeah.
It sounded like she moved something and maybe she lost her connection. She'll be back.
Yeah.
But
so go ahead, Bob.
I feel as though that we are moving into the thick of the shift.
Yes.
No pun intended.
The shift is on. How's it? Oh, there's such a great saying, and it's just like so eluding me right now. Don't you just love it when that happens?
Shift happens?
Yes, yeah, that was it.
I love that. And that's, you know what, that's what's so amazing to me, I guess, and that's in really taking a look at how the feminine energy is kind of taking play. It's not necessarily like we put so many labels on feminine and masculine when it's really just a vibration, right? But it's like it's really coming in and hitting the planet in so many ways. Like you're seeing all this disruption, but it's so exciting because that's like we haven't had that for a while. So it's like we need that disruption so that the new, like we're going through our labor pains, okay? So that the new earth can be born.
Yeah, it seems as though that we're in the final stages of whatever it is that's supposed to happen. We're you know, if this is
Hey,
hello. Lisa.
Oh my God, that's the trippiest thing ever.
What happened?
Here I am telling you that the last thing that comes out of my mouth is that the crystal turned up in the bottom of the washing machine, right?
Uh-huh.
Mushy walks back. She's been down the beach, walks in the door. The internet drops. Actually walks in the door because I'm sure it's her energy field just crashed it. And she turns around and pulls out a crystal that washed up at her feet on the beach.
Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. I love it.
Oh, that's too funny.
I love that. That's the universe showing up.
Yeah, instant manifestation, girl. Like double instant manifestation this morning and now as you speak it.
Love it.
That was too cool.
That's what energy.
Good job, Mushi.
Awesome. And that's such a reflect. Like that, you should like. That's such a great like feeling that vibration in your body right now. Like how that feels to have yourself really knowing. Like you did that. Holy shit. I mean, you know the other word.
Whichever word that is.
That other one.
I think, like, if we were to liken this to a typical birth, we're at the stage where the doctor is screaming, "Push, Mrs. Ramirez, push!" That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
We got the big grunts happening now.
Mm. Yes, and imagine like coming through the darkness of the birth canal, right? Like it's kind of like the earth is scared, like not scared, but like it's a whole new thing. And so like everybody is kind of they have to release that fear, that vibration that's been so embedded in our beings for who knows how long now. But it's like that it's like really letting go and coming through the birth canal. That's the energetic pull that the earth, that everything is calling for.
Well, it also reminds me of the story of how I think, Lisa, you told this story before too, and I'd heard it before as well about the butterfly. Right now it's just getting ready to burst out of the chrysalis. The chrysalis is actually breaking free, but the butterfly had to struggle to strengthen its wings, to strengthen its body so that it could fly. It couldn't break out any sooner. Everything in its own perfect timing. And here we go. The light's coming on. We're moving, kind of struggling free of the chrysalis as we move out. But, next stage is flight, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
And and that's what I think is so exciting is that, like, people are starting to have an understanding of the energy that we're made of and how we're connected and how things are. And that's all part of, like, telekinesis and being able to imprint or being able to give messages. It's all through the energy. It's all through the matter that we are made of. And so if you can learn to manipulate and manifest your own being and what your own surroundings, bam, baby, you're bringing that in, right? You're adding that to the collective, and here comes the baby's head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just listened to something just about an hour ago that was talking about how what we're doing at this point, or what we need to be doing at this point, is owning the fact that we are the higher dimensional being, and like literally believing that, moving towards it. Actually, it's like you're already there, and now it's just the realization of it.
That is so, like, that couldn't be, to me, that is exactly like the term I am, right? Mm-hmm. It's not about becoming, it's not about awakening. We already are there, but it's exactly. Like, right, because of our concept of time, which doesn't even really exist, but it's like we have to go through that birthing. We have to develop empathy. We have to develop lack of ego, lack of judgment, all of these things that we came in with, so that we can, like, push through and re-enter into the universe that we are. It's like this whole really awesome.
And the biggest part of that is letting go of the old. It's like, we can't go back and decorate that womb.
No, you don't get to. Sorry, that's not the way it goes. Yeah. And people are trying, don't get me wrong.
I know.
They're trying to crawl back up.
Grabbing onto the ribs. No, you don't want to die.
Don't let me go. And some of them are missing, and no. Okay. So that's all part. Like, to me, this is all so, like, learning. Like, I'm watching these children that are coming in, and the crystals and all these things that people are talking about, and it's not really. I don't really understand titles, but I see the energy in their being, and it's different. Right? The energy that's one of the things that I guess that I don't see pictures and all the things that people talk about, but I see the energy in the body. And so the actual core center that I see in everyone, these children that are being born now, their center is different. So definitely. It's like, and it's like they're connecting easier, right? Their source, their opening, the top of their head is like already open. They don't have to try and do anything with the glands or any of that stuff. They're already there.
Is anybody else experiencing blank, what I call blankness? Like in the middle of a conversation, or in the middle of doing, you just kind of spaced out, People are asking you, people are talking to you, and they're like, where are you? And you're just like, I'm sorry, did you say something after it's spoken with you for 10 minutes?
Yep.
Yep.
Actually, Phil's got so used to looking at me and just saying, "You're not here, are you?" And having me go, "Please leave a message." He's not here right now.
Well, I've blanked out, looked down, and seen my cigarette. The ash is about 3 inches long.
There was time.
The other thing that I've been doing is, I swear, Vera is talking to me, and I say, what did you say? And she said, what? Nothing. And I said, yeah, you did. And she said, no, I didn't. Now, either I'm hearing her talking in her head or she's talking and doesn't realise it. I don't know which one, but I swear it's coming out of her mouth.
Or time is just not what we were used to anymore.
Well, that's going to be the whole thing, is these energies are popping into us, right? We're experiencing all this crap, but there's also so many good things. Like, you'll start hearing things. You'll start, because you're open, right? You're not one of these people that's walking around in blindness of it. So all of a sudden you're going to hear something or you're going to see something and you're going to be like, did I just see that? Was that real? That wasn't real. And then it's going to happen again and you're going to be like, holy crap.
I've also experienced the complete opposite as well, where certain people who, they can be sitting right next to me, and I'll say something to them, you know, in my normal voice, and they don't react, and I'll raise my voice, and they still don't react, and then just walk away like they've never heard me. And then, like, I was like, didn't you just hear me? And they're like, no, you didn't say anything. I was like, you were sitting, how could you not have heard me? You were sitting right next to me. So either they blanked out, or they were blanked out during that period of time, or for some reason my voice just isn't carrying. I don't know. But
you probably were vibrating too high for
that's
them to
exactly what
hear.
I was just thinking. I was just thinking the same thing.
Because if that's what the Aborigines do to disappear, right? They vibrate, and that's what you were doing. Your vibration was so high that they were like not even there. They couldn't hear you at all. They were at a different level. Wow, that's awesome.
Actually, yesterday when I was really in the throes of this energy rush, I was in the back seat of the car and I said something to the girls, and it didn't sound right. It sounded like it came out not in English, like it or garbled or something. And I thought to myself, oh shit, that didn't come out right. And then, but then they understood what I said perfectly.
Yep.
Wow.
It just didn't sound right to me.
But that's awesome.
Wow, we are definitely moving through the twilight zone, peeps.
Hey, we've got some callers. Let's bring them out and hear what they have to say.
Hey, Dee wants to join us.
Oh, great.
Shall we allow her?
Yes, let's allow her.
Cool.
In the meantime, I'll bring out or have we got her? No, almost. And we'll bring out caller area code 907.
That's me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. What's your name?
Hi, this is Crystal.
Oh, hey, Crystal.
And hello. I'm very excited to be talking to all of you guys. And I was one of the callers in the queue last night hoping to talk because I know this is kind of more of a one people question, but wanted to talk a little bit about what I'm doing, and I'm taking a different course as to kind of what Bob has done, so maybe Bob would be the right person to answer this question. But
I'll try my darndest.
Okay. So basically, I am in the process of selling my house, and I have accepted an offer, currently have X amount of dollars in equity in the house, but obviously without the mortgage, I would have a whole lot more. So what I'm doing is I've been contacting the banks and finding out who is the responsible party to sign the deed of reconveyance. So my background is I'm a real estate agent, and I didn't start until 2010, but I was an assistant in 2008. So I was seeing when the financial system was really freaking out. I was able to be in the meetings where state policies and banking regulations were changing by the day. So I was watching all of this happen. Then I became an agent. Then I became aware of where the problem was actually coming from and where the fraud was happening within the mortgage industry as far as purchasing homes. And so I purchased my home in 2007, which is prime time, mad fraud period. And the other night, okay, so I know that's kind of like background history. Basically, the last 2 days, I've been calling my servicer and saying, okay, well, if I'm going to send them this, I'm directing this letter to the vice president of my state's Wells Fargo mortgage division and saying, okay, I'm aware that there's all this fraud going on in the mortgage industry. I expect you to either A, provide me with those documents, and I, list out origin of title, origin of funds, title, ownership, etc., or rebut these UCC filings. If you are not able to do either one of those, then I expect you to sign a deed of reconveyance. So I'm providing, with all of these documents, the deed of reconveyance, and if they can't do one or the other, I'm expecting them to sign that. And so that's the approach that I'm taking. My question, I know it's a long explanation, but my question is, I woke up the other night and I was going, how can I pinpoint the fraud and explain it in a distinct and organized manner? And what I came up with was, because they didn't disclose that I am really, by me putting my signature on that promissory note, and that is where the value was created, and they didn't disclose that in my documents that I signed at my closing back in 2007. When you don't disclose something in a contract, it makes the contract void. So that's the perspective that I'm taking, and I want to make sure that I'm on the right track.
Well, all of what you said is true. Everything that what you said is true. But if you really want to, highlight the fraud, the Paradigm Report is a report based on about 23,000 mortgages that were tracked. And it goes into succinctly explain why all mortgages are fraud. I would include a Paradigm Report and send it to whoever it is that you need to.
Okay.
So that they see that there was an investigation and that you're not just talking about something that's like some pipe dream. That
right.
there was a formal investigation made, and these are the findings. And then you can ask them those questions that you just asked. Can you show me, that you've got the rights, title, ownership of any funds that you purportedly lent to me?
Right.
And if you don't have those, then there really was no loan. No loan was actually made.
Right. Right.
And
yeah.
And also,
okay.
You're also right that there is no valid contract without any consideration being exchanged. There's got to be value for value. Okay, now you gave them value in that promissory note. What did they give you?
Nothing, except putting my name on the taxes bill.
Exactly. So you're thinking just right. You're right on the right track.
Okay. Yeah. I've been following this since February, and I really understood the concept of how money just was ridiculous and how we're all playing into the system for something that they can create out of thin air. But yet I look at the Federal Reserve guidelines and it's like, okay, well, they have legal right to create those funds through the fractional reserve banking and whatnot. But where is the fraud? Like I just could not get my mind fully wrapped around why it made every loan fraud. And the other morning, it was last Thursday, I woke up at 3 a.m. and I was wide awake and I had perfect clarity as to where the problem really was. And I couldn't go back to bed until I grabbed my laptop, started this letter to my bank, and thought, you know what? I'm going to get this deed reconveyed. I'm going to file it at the title office, and I'm going to get the full value of my house. And I felt so powerful in that moment and was so inspired and was like, you know what, this is a different approach than other people are taking, but because those funds are coming from another fraudulent loan in order to pay me, So that's their business and where they're getting that money to pay off, seller or whatever, how it's titled on the settlement report. But But the bottom line is, until somebody proves that it works, what do I have to lose? All I have to lose is, they don't give me the deed of reconveyance, and I close on my house anyway. I've already got my next property lined up anyway, so it doesn't matter. And so I'm just going for it. My husband's like, you better knock it off. He said that to me twice now. But, I get it, that it's so fraudulent that I want to try to do something about it. So when I prove that it can be done, you better believe the first thing I'm going to be doing is going to my friends and going to my clients that have taken out mortgages and go, look what I did. You can do the same thing too if you want.
Well, you know what? You're on the right track, and I don't want to spend a lot more time because typically we talk about these things on the One People show. But Crystal,
right.
do. If your heart motivates you, go ahead. Do what you're on the right track. You're not thinking crazy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's good advice to include the paradigm report, and I will do that, and we'll see where it takes me. I would love everybody's thoughts and energy into seeing that this works, because it would be great validation for all of us. So.
Indeed. Thanks.
All right. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so much.
Bye, Crystal.
Thanks, Crystal.
Bye.
Okay, do we have D? D.
Dee, where are you? Oh, you are all transformed.
Oh, we have Robo D.
Oh, yikes.
Sorry, Robo D. No. Okay, we'll move on and take another caller while we wait for Dee's internet to cooperate and play nice. Area code 336.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello,
Randy.
is that Randy?
It's Randy.
It's Randy.
It's Randy. How you doing,
Randy.
sweetheart?
I'm doing wonderful. I wanted to add to some of this. You're talking about the energies earlier and how they're just draining us. It's just like I can't get enough sleep. I'm seeing people in my peripheral vision, and I turn and look, and they're not there.
Yeah. Yep, getting that too.
And I'm. Everybody's calling me a mind reader because I'm answering their questions before they ever ask them.
Tapped in, tuned in, and turned on.
Absolutely.
We had people at the restaurant this weekend. They're like, "Do you read minds?" They're like, "No, why?" Well, because you answered our question before we ever asked them. So I just want to throw that in there. And
next time they ask that question, Randy, say, "Yes, I do," and see how your friends dissipate.
Well, these are just total strangers.
No, they'll probably try to sit you down and have them, have you do a reading for them or something.
Anyway, I think we're about up to 40-some people for our meetup, and I'm excited about it. I just wanted to share that real quick.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's just grown, hasn't it? That's just gone wild.
It has. It's amazing, and I love it.
Well, it's turned from a meetup into an event.
Exactly. Well, that's all I have to share, you guys. I just want to say I love you.
Oh, we love you too, Randy.
Always, Randy. You're going to be exhausted after your weekend because you're going to be hugging so many people all weekend.
No, I think I'll have more energy after hugging everybody.
Yeah, you might do too. Well, thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
See you, sweetie.
Bye.
I'm back.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, I think it's better.
I'm here. I can't guarantee I'll be here for long, but
Well, you sound like you're in a tunnel, but it sounds really good compared to
Yeah,
what
it sounds a lot clearer now.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm sure they're excited to hear your voice. They were disappointed you didn't make it on yesterday. But we've been talking about the energies that we've all been experiencing lately, and I know you have too, because we talk about it all the time.
Oh, the
evil laugh.
I was telling Bob and Lisa
and Vera Mushi earlier today, and Bill, that my whole family were in Spain this morning, well, all day today, to do our, the quintessential 3-month visa run. And we're sitting in a restaurant, just an outdoor cafe, just getting a bite to eat for dinner time. And all of a sudden I realized I was sitting there staring at a tree. And I guess I must have been staring there for a few minutes before my husband was like, are you okay? And I kind of had to blink once or twice because I wasn't sure if I could actually see or hear. And there was definitely about a second and a half where I knew I couldn't speak English anymore. And it took me a second. I finally was like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm just working, apparently. And I was and I had to literally pull all myself back in and go, okay, focus. You're sitting in a cafe. You cannot be going off working and it's just energetically doing stuff. This is just focus on your dinner. Just think about food. Don't think about anything else. Yeah, it's got a lot of fun energy right now.
I've actually had, my family making plans right in front of me, and apparently I was part of the planning session, even though I don't remember saying anything. And when I come back to, everybody's like, "Okay, you're ready to go," and I'm like, "What's going on?" They're like, "We're going out to eat." I was like, "We are? We just told you." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
It makes sense to me, because what's happening is if you think about the rebirth, right? We actually think of it as a new earth being born, but actually what's happening is it's like the inner earth is being pushed to the outer earth, right? It's like turning itself inside out. And so what's happening is it's like we are already experiencing the vibration of being in that other place, right? It's already in existence. It's already happening. It just hasn't hit the planet completely in solid. That's that you're talking about it hitting its peak. It's doing all these things. This is where the polar shifts will begin, and the energy that has been hitting and all of these things that people have been experiencing, the planet will take on exactly what each being has been experiencing. So
my body feels like it's turning inside out right now too.
Right, because it is, right? In a way, it is, because it's like as within is without, right? Like you can use all these terms from, biblical to Hinduism. I mean, it's all the same. It's like, so what's happening is it's literally like the inner earth, which we think of as a physical place, is more of a dimensional realm. And so it vibrates at this awesome level. And as it's starting to push itself out, and the inner earth will then go inside, right? Because then the 3D can be experienced at a more solid, compacted, controlled level.
I'm seeing the toroid right now as you say that.
Yes, it's like this is the time of now. And so,
well, you know what? It's really interesting, and we have this discussion a lot in various Skype rooms, etc. And one of the things that I'm finding all of a sudden is Heather's been saying for a while that it's all done. Energetically, everything is all done. It's all done.
It's done.
We are in the midst right now of seeing it physically manifest itself.
Mm-hmm. It's like what you were saying yesterday, Lisa, about... Hold on a second. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to mute myself. Somebody else is coming down here. Go ahead and talk. Sorry. Go for it.
Well, everything is physically manifesting itself, and this is the whole thing that time has no meaning. There is no such thing as time. Time means diddly freaking squat. But there's an order of events, and as these events roll out, they are literally the physical manifestation of what has already been done energetically. And that's what we're witnessing right now, in moment to moment, and it's getting faster and faster and faster and faster. And, I mean, this is the whole thing. It's the big joke about time. it's a huge joke. It always has been a big joke over here in Morocco that, you know, you take a country like Morocco, well, like, I hate to say it, but most of the more tropical countries that I've lived in anyways, they all have a very relaxed sense of time. But then you throw a whole pile of people in there, and time is actually speeding up to the point where now we're losing not just minutes and hours, but entire days have disappeared. I said to Bob today, we just did our visa run, and Bob was like, "It's been 3 months." I'm like, "Yeah, apparently." I don't know where it went.
So this is really just us now beginning to realize where we are, who we are, as we are. This is like, you know, like you said on the show last night, I think it was, Lisa, that, you know, the Spaniards came and the Indians couldn't see the ships. And then all of a sudden somebody sensed it, they felt it. And so they went out and by focusing, they could see it, and then they had to explain it to the others. And then as they explained it to the others began to see it as well.
Yep. Well, yeah, actually, Dee and I were having this conversation the other night, and in regards to the whole internal tech system that's coming online. And all it's going to take is for one person to be able to demonstrate their internal tech, and it'll trigger so many more of us, and it'll be this domino effect.
I can really feel that.
Yeah.
Well, it's my ongoing joke analogy of, you know, manifesting a tomato in my hand. And the whole thing is when you do it in front of someone else and they say, "How did you do that?" And you say, "Well, like this." And there goes another tomato in the other hand. And they're like, "Oh, I get it." And then they turn around and do the exact same thing.
Oh, that's what I was going to tell you before when Mushy came home and interrupted the internet. Yesterday, I was thinking about this whole manifestation of tomatoes conversation that we had. And while I was in the throes of all these energy rushes and aches and pains, and I remembered hearing so many times how, you know, through channelings or, you know, the galactics, they talk about how their ships are conscious, that the ships they travel in are a being in and of themselves, and they have this, they interface with it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a relationship. Mm-hmm. And then I just sort of ended up playing with this thought tangent that, okay, in order to manifest something, you know, visually out of thin air, so to speak, then is it a matter of asking Source or a fragment of Source if it wants to play and come into visibility and density as something? Or is it part of your own personal energy source that we call us, and we create a fractal of that with the intent that it manifests in density as something? Like, I was just playing with these ideas and these thought streams, but it feels like I really, really felt like I was onto something. That we have to see whatever it is we want to manifest, and or know that it is actually a consciousness in and of itself, and that it's a relationship that we want to have with it and play with it.
I think they're all one and the same. You know, I always likened it to like being in my dreams. When the dreams that I can remember, you know, or when I'm lucid dreaming, you know, it may be just a simple average conversation that you might be having with one of your friends, and your friends ask, you might ask your friend, "Would you like some coffee?" in your dream, and you walk into the cupboard and open up the cupboard and there's coffee. You know, or it's just there on the table.
Exactly. Yep.
You know, it is one of those things that I don't even think that, you know, we even have to consciously play at it. I think it will start out as everything that we need just is magically there. Just like in your dreams. You know, you don't think about...
I think Dee wants to say something about this.
Oh, go ahead, Dee.
Yep. Oh, here, sorry, I wasn't trying to cut you off, Bob.
Oh, that's okay.
No, here's the thing: is we get told, and we've discussed it over and over and over and over and over. We are the value, and a lot of people do not fully get it because value to them is a monetary term. It is a we are the value, and that value is representative of dollars or pounds sterling or gold nuggets, or do you understand what I'm saying? People want to place that ideology that we are the value into a construct that uses a representation. The truth is that we are the value. And value has nothing to do with representation. It has nothing to do with gold or silver or frickin' pennies, nickels, dimes, dollars, anything. Value is energy. That's what it is. What they are measuring, they being, the bankers, etc., when they are taking your value and turning it into dollars or euros, etc., it's your energy that they're transforming, if you will, into a monetary thing. But it's still energy. And your energy is endless.
All this time we bought into that, and by doing so, we didn't realize that it was so much more expensive than it is, or than we've been told.
Exactly. And this is when we talk about energy, if you're going to use absolute tech, if you're going to energetically say, I am opening a portal and I am going to take Lisa and Vera and Moosh a cup of coffee tomorrow morning when they woke up. It's an energetic thing.
Make mine a latte, please.
Yeah, well, I'll do my best, darling, but I can only carry so many at one time, so it may end up just being a pot.
Limits.
Limits. Yeah, thank you. Perfect, Judy. Oh. Na, 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 na.
You just got slapped.
Did you feel it?
Yep.
But that's the thing. When you do, and I mean do anything for the highest good of all, whatever that doing is, you are creating energy that is exponential and perpetual, that goes on forever. It is unmeasurable.
She's transforming again.
Yeah.
There is no dollar amount attached to it. There's no possible way to attach a dollar amount to that. I'm sorry. I can't really do. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. Because,
Before we couldn't, so right now we can.
I'm rambling on here. So, okay. To attach a dollar amount to your value, the energy that you are magnetically drawing to you when you are doing anything for the highest good of all, then I'm sorry, I'm trying to say it over and over. Can you hear me?
Just keep going, Dee. Just keep going.
Okay. So anyway, so you have this energy. So there's no need to, in my understanding, the way I see it, you don't need to draw it from somewhere. It's just there. When you have this energy and you go, and like I say, and you say, I'm going to make spaghetti sauce, so thank you, I'll manifest this nice big red tomato in my hand. It's not a matter of drawing this huge amount of energy from anywhere else. You yourself are the source of the energy. And
I agree with that.
And we had an incident today, and I'm not going to go into details over the radio,
Oh, bummer.
Where it was made very, very clear today just how much energy one little person can have. to the point of when Heather was holding on to that energy today, she was trying to decide the best way to get rid of it without blowing the wall out of the back of the house. And it was this huge wake-up call to everyone of like, all of a sudden of like, okay, when you're talking about that much energy, it's so mind-blowingly huge that you say, okay, what can't I do with this? There's nothing I could possibly not be able to do with this much energy.
So what we're really talking about here is an unlearning, not necessarily a learning. We already have it. We just have to unlearn what we think already was.
Well,
the limits that have been placed on that knowledge.
Well, this is it. One of the things that you really realize hugely in the last couple of months is so many very insidious programs, if you will, that have been placed into
It'll sort out
human collective, into the consciousness. More and more. Am I gone again? Can you guys hear me?
You're all right now.
No, you're on a delay. By the time you go, oh no, I'm gone, you're back. So just keep going.
So when I'm not talking about, I mean, those are huge. We all know about the religious programming and the political and the racial and the you name it. But beyond and deeper than that, insidious programming, even to the point of, I've cut my finger, ouch, it hurts. There is a programming there that is...
Which is done at an energetic level, right?
That is what interferes with your healing. When you pay this energy to going, ouch, 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 it hurts, oh, it hurts, I need a Band-Aid, ouch, ouch, ouch. You are paying your energy into the ouch, it hurts, and you're paying energy into ouch, it hurts.
I get it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's a problem.
So right now, as my legs and all my muscles are aching.
Well, that makes sense.
Uncover all these
when you're
little things that have been programmed to us.
When you're little and you're running around and you're playing, and if you trip and you gash your knee, when it happens, and I remember this, as a little boy, I would look down and then I would look at my parents, my family, and when they got scared, that's when the pain hit.
Mhm.
Yep.
And people, well, maybe you were just in shock and it took a while, but it wasn't until they became concerned that it actually became an issue with me.
Yep.
Yeah. I've seen my
here.
kids fall down and do the most horrendous things.
Yep.
The things that you would expect would end up in hysterics. And because they're too busy playing, they don't want to know it. They don't want to stop to be in pain. They don't want to stop to hurt themselves. They get up, they brush themselves off, and off they go again.
Mm-hmm.
If there's nobody around to react, and then or if there's blood involved, if they look and they see blood, then they think blood equals pain.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I had a really good friend of mine years ago when my eldest son was just wee. Say, the first time you see them and they're just starting to learn how to walk, and they fall, and you go, and she was like, don't ever do that. because that intake of breath, you've just said to this child, oh no, beware, alert, oh no. And she would just literally, she said, train yourself to sit there and just smile and say, are you okay? Awesome. Should we read a book?
Yep.
Yep.
My son always gives me a hard time. Well, he used to when he was younger, but when he was younger and he would like stumble and fall or kick, like, go into his like, oh no, that hurts. And I'm like, come on, bud. Come on, pick yourself up and get moving. He's like, Mom, you're supposed to be feel bad for me. And I'm like, I don't feel bad for you. If you don't pay attention to it, it'll go away.
Well, actually, it reminds me of that birthing story that I read many years ago when I was pregnant with my first. The doctor Western trained doctor who ended up at, I think it was like the backwoods of Russia or somewhere, the Ukraine or somewhere where birthing had not been westernized to the extent that it had in the rest of Europe. And a young woman came in who happened to be out walking and went into labor and just knocked on the door of the hospital and just asked for a room if she could have some space inside to give birth. And they gave her a bed somewhere. He came in to check on her, and she just seemed to be lying there peacefully. And he said, are you in pain? And she went, no. Should I be? And sort of got a little bit alarmed that maybe something was wrong. And he went, no, you shouldn't be. That's fine. So it happens to some women. And she went, oh, okay. And he kept an eye on her through the labour process, and he said she basically purred through the whole thing like a cat. And where she was from, birthing was not a painful experience. She had no concept of it being a painful experience, and therefore it wasn't for her. And this went on to change this guy's medical career and his life. And that's what this reminds me of, what this discussion is talking about.
That's cool. There's not a whole lot of money in that, though, so it didn't work very well in the Western system.
Well, I think this is a very, very integral part of this technology that we're talking about. It's you get to program your reality. Whatever you can convince yourself into believing, you will experience. It will become real for you. I had a conversation with one of my friends, and he was going on to me. He's like, I was thinking like maybe I should conserve my energy, right, and practice like a tantric type of thing, and he was drinking so much water and doing so much water. And I said, or you can just hold the belief that my body is perfect in any moment that I choose. Both will work. Both will work. It's just a matter, and I've been simplifying these programs that I've been carrying around in me. You don't have to, as long as you can believe in it and make it solid in your mind, it will become true for you. So I mean, why hold the belief that I must do A, B, C, D when you can go directly to D and say that's what I am?
Well, D, that's what I am.
It's kind of like that Henry Ford saying, whether you say you can or whether you say you can't, either way you're right.
Absolutely.
Right.
I think you're absolutely right there. I think that is so important because, there are all these books out and all these people coming out with all of these programs that you have to go step by step by step by step by step to get someplace. And I have to tell you, that just rubs me so not right. And I'm like, no, that's all way too much work. I like instant manifestation. Screw that stuff.
Well, he was like, I haven't ejaculated in 3 weeks and this and that, and it's making me feel better. And I said, or you can have the idea that every time you do, you get invigorated. Both will work, but which is more fun? It's and this is another thing that I think a lot of times, because we're coming from a lot of these old paradigms, and we hold on to these structures and these patterns that, oh, well, you have to do yoga, and you have to sit in this position, and you have to face towards the west, or you have to, no, you must eat a particular type of diet, and blah, 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 and you can't have any meat, and you can't do this, and you can't do that, or, all these different, belief
limits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that there's belief systems. And yes, they may have worked, and if you can buy into that system and convince yourself that this is true, it will also work for you. Right. But you can also substitute that entire system with a much simpler belief if that also works and serves for you.
That's what Bashar says. Bashar says that, if you want to use that tool, if you feel that tool will help you, there are all kinds of tools you can use. But you can also use the tool that you just believe it's so, and so you do so.
Right.
They're all placebo effects, aren't they, really?
Exactly.
Well, your whole life is a placebo effect.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. And when you really take a step back, look at that as a bigger picture, everything is a placebo. Every belief is a placebo.
Wow.
People, I can't believe that you're as spiritually developed as you claim to be, and you're sitting there smoking a cigarette. I said, I like cigarettes. I don't know what your problem is. I like to smoke. Well, don't you know what kind of damage it's doing to your body? I was like, my body's fine.
Mhm.
My body's fine with this. My body actually enjoys smoking. Now, people say, oh, you're taking a metaphysical shortcut, and that's not true. But it's true for me.
Mhm.
Well, the interesting thing I found is that everybody who I know who I would consider somebody who's really aware and conscious of energy, works with energy, smokes. What is with that? What is that?
I don't know. I wondered about
I'm not saying they all do, but I'm just saying, a lot of the smokers I know do.
Oh, goodness. I come from Native American blood. They've been smoking tobacco for centuries.
Mm-hmm.
Never had problems with cancer or any of that crap. I did a show where I emphasize over and over, it's all in your head.
You should see all the people on the chat room now going, I smoke.
Yeah, that's funny.
As I sit here with my cigarette.
We're in good company.
Anybody who says, well, if you're going to ascend that you've got to be a vegetarian, you have to be a non-smoker, you have to do this, and you have... Bullshit. You don't have to do anything.
The whole idea that when the ascension happens, and it's always this thing in the future, when I transform, when I ascend, when this happens, and it's been in the future forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
The moment we stop saying that and putting it in the future, and we embrace it, and it's happening now, and we embrace that whole concept that we're absolutely in it, and even better, that we've done it,
mm-hmm.
Everything shifts.
I'd kind of like to play with that tomorrow night, maybe, just kind of play with what it could feel like, what it would feel like, how, what would you do, maybe, I don't even know, but it feels like playing within that space of imagine as if could be a whole lot of fun.
You don't have to go too far down any sort of law of attraction rabbit hole to find what you do is put yourself there, put yourself after the event.
Uh-huh.
If there's something you want to manifest in your life, an event, a circumstance, or to attain something, the real magic is you put yourself in that place, mentally, emotionally, physically, to that time after it's happened. You put it in your past.
That makes sense. I think that's what I did when I was playing with the clouds.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
This is one of the things that. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, hon.
So, this is one of the things in manifesting our reality that I really feel like it's a really important part of our being, because I feel like that there's things missing, right? Like we all know that our thoughts and our energies are creating the reality that we're experiencing, but it's actually consciously creating from that vibration, right? And what happens is, in what I believe is that as we're manifesting, in the way that our bodies are manufactured or put together or made as the atom, right, projecting out and pulling in, you can have the thought and you can feel the vibration, and the brain doesn't really know that it's not happening, right? But what happens is you're projecting out and pulling in and projecting out and pulling in, it's through your whole being. It's not just through a piece. And so where those spots that I was talking about are held with emotional darkness or solidness, right? Because darkness puts too much judgment into it. It's just a vibrational emotion that's stuck, right? And so it's like when you're projecting, you're also projecting from those places. And that's why you'll have the same experiences, like things will be going great, and then all of a sudden, bam, that same shit, right? Because you're pushing forward with your mind, you're creating with your vibration, but it's flowing through the whole body, the trilogy, the mind, body, and soul. The body is a piece, it's the vessel, it's the 3D. Okay? So if you have things that are stuck in you, emotions that are holding different areas, which that's how you can determine where you're sick, that's what you're projecting out, and that's where you're also creating. So it's important to clear the body, make sure that you're coming in your manifestation from a clear place, and that's when things start to happen.
Well, can I ask you something about that, sweetie?
Yeah.
Because when you talk about clearing the body, to me, clearing the body means you must clear the mind first. That has to come from the mind.
Well, yeah, I think in my opinion, I don't want to. From your perspective. From my perspective, it's the opposite.
Okay.
Because I can I clear the body and then remap the mind. That's part of the process. Right? You can't remap the mind if the body is not cleared, because it's gonna the universe is gonna keep answering you, right? As you're projecting out your ad.
Both.
I think you're both right.
Both will work.
Yeah,
I think so too.
And that's what's so beautiful about all of this. There is no one set way to do this.
It's beautiful.
There is no one set way to do this.
Just like the fingerprint, man. There's no, the fingerprint is unique to each person, and so is their path to whatever it is we want to call this, awakening, ascension, the becoming of what we already are.
I mean, there's certainly, excuse me, plenty of evidence out there to support what Sherry's saying, in that, when you clean your body up, you clean your mind up too. Your depression lifts. You get out of that mental fog. You get clarity of thought. All of those things happen as a byproduct of cleaning up the body. But I also agree.
Yeah, I don't know. Define clean up the body.
Stop doing all these things that we love to do, like drinking.
No. No, you're not understanding. That's not true. I don't have any. No, I don't have any judgment on what people eat, what they exercise, and none of that stuff. All of that is a reflection of the holding in the body, the emotional, the energetic holding, not the food or the shit that we eat. When I'm talking about clearing the body, I'm talking about tapping into those emotional vibrations that are holding in your body, that are projecting out in your ad of the universe.
Oh, I am so with you on that.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
That's where I'm talking. And so as you come through, right, and you're clearing out your body, and the mind can then see things for truth instead of coming from a place of wounding, right? That's where I'm talking about clearing the body so that you can remap the mind, so that you can then see the truth of reality as opposed from a place of a child. Right?
Yeah, it's interesting because I actually use that with my tarot readings for people who are not familiar with it when they hold thought forms, because thoughts are things, when they get stuffed and continually stuffed and hidden and pushed down and pushed away, they grow stronger and bigger and create disease within the body, which of course becomes disease. And I teach people how to bring that up and set it free. And I agree. I think that needs to happen, because that is, that's another being that's living within your energy space. That is kind of, it's your little slave that you've asked to do what it is that you've asked it to do. So it needs to be forgiven. It needs to be thanked and loved, and you need to be forgiven, and then it needs to be let go. But yeah, I see what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, there's somebody in the chat room who thinks, yes?
I was just going to say we've got, our board is lit up, like.
Okay, yes it is. And we've also got somebody in the chat room who's talking about losing physicality altogether, and wants us to address that.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people who have said that they feel like they're like leaving their bodies and they have to pull it back in.
I don't think we're going to lose density at all.
No. Yeah.
That's my personal thought on this.
Right.
Not. Anybody else?
I agree. I don't believe that everybody, there's a fear, of ascension, that we're going to lose our individuality, that we're going to lose our what we have or what we become used to. And you're not losing anything. The experience that you have or that you enjoy right now, you can still continue to experience. What you're gaining is more.
Mhm. Absolutely.
You're not losing anything. There's no experience that you're currently having that's going to be lost in the ascension process.
That vulnerability thing, that people feel like if they become vulnerable and really open their hearts up, that they're gonna have come in and take advantage of that. And the truth is with that kind of energy, it vibrates so high, that energy does not invite lower vibrational energies. So what you do is you literally become stronger, by leaps and bounds.
I do think there is going to be some kind of transformation in the physical, in density, but I don't think we're going to lose density.
You know what? I think density is going to become more malleable.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so where your walls, which you think are solid and permanent, and a lot of these physical structures that we think are permanent are not necessarily so. Won't be necessarily so. I think we're moving to a time where you can literally say to that mountain, "Move," and it will move.
Mhm. Talk about being the technology.
All right, let's bring some of these callers out. We've got area code 702.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, great. Thank everybody. I'm so grateful for these shows. Thank you all so very much. So very much.
You're
so
welcome.
Nice to not be alone after all these years. My name's Barbara.
Hey, Barbara.
Hey, hi. AKA Animal Avatar. I would just like to say that the thing tonight about holding energy and about going through the change, popping through the birth canal, and so on is so very timely for me. I had this physical thing happen recently, and I started asking, the universe and the what is this blockage? I feel if I drink too much water, it's like a clogged coffee filter or something, and yet I'm so thirsty. And I finally got it. My body was telling me about certain issues that it's time to let go of. And it's like, I already let go of that. Well, apparently there's a lot of layers. And, we're being kind of squeezed through a sieve in a way. And the squeezing through and the releasing and letting go of is what helps us get lighter and lighter. And every time we learn one of these things, of course, we're available to share our learning with others around us. And so I felt this information tonight was so timely. And thank you.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, for so many of us to be going through this at the same time, it was a no-brainer. This is what we had to talk about today.
Yeah, it's a great subject. It's lovely. Thank you so much, and I'll get off so you can have someone else on.
Thank you, Barbara. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you.
Okay, we have area code 406.
I think I could hear ourselves in the background.
406?
You.
No, they just dropped. Okay. Area code 805.
That's Tess.
Hi.
Oh, that's not.
Hi.
Hello. How's it going?
Quite well.
It's good. Who's this?
My name's Mitch.
Mitch. Hi.
Yeah. Hi. I just called. It's really strange, this conversation that you're having and that all the listeners are included in. It's kind of like you're trying to describe something. We're all trying to describe something, and it's undescribable because we're kind of talking about eternal essence and spirit, and everybody's explaining it in their different way, and it's so beautiful, just to see everybody going towards spirit, towards unity, towards that one consciousness. And it's just, it's great. It's incredible. And it just seems, like guiding people towards that in that direction, realizing, that all things are temporary manifestations, and there's really only one truth, and that's the truth of who we are, that we're all one, that we're all consciousness, and that we're all rising. There's no way that we couldn't together.
Oh.
And it's incredible, and I'm so glad to be on. I listen to you guys all the time. I'm calling from Santa Barbara, and it's just amazing that it's happening. We're all spread out, and we're all feeling the same thing. People in Australia, people over on the East Coast, and it's such a good feeling. My heart is just thumping. It's really good.
And that's the beauty of these shows. It gives us a chance to come together and support one another, and as we all struggle to find the words for the unexplainable, we hopefully can put, and including you and the callers and the people in the chat room, everybody gets a chance to sort of put it into their own unique frame of reference, which helps somebody else go, yes, that's exactly it for me. And you don't feel so alone, and you feel like you're part of the global collective, and that's why these shows are so beautiful for me.
Well, they did say that the revolution would not be televised. It's going to be on Blog Talk Radio.
Yeah.
That was written like thousands of years ago, right?
Yes.
I think I saw that.
In the Sumerian text.
Yeah.
So this is like so expansive, and we can share all of this. It literally is an expanding experience for all of us together. How beautiful. Yay.
Yep. Dee's not getting much in the way of internet to talk, but she said everyone is experiencing things slightly different, and when we share, we open ourselves to others' opinions and experiences, which helps us to deal with our own experiences. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we just continue to expand. Yeah. Thank you very much, Mitch, for calling in and sharing that.
Of course. God bless you all.
Thank you,
great
Mitch.
Day. You guys are a great night as well. Okay.
Love your voice.
Bye.
I can hear the love in it.
Yeah. Nice. You too, darling. Oh, area code 239. Sorry.
Hello?
Area code 2.
Hi.
239?
Hello? Yeah.
Yes.
This is me. Hey, this is Brian.
Sorry?
From Cape Coral.
Hey, Brian. We got a Brian after all.
Yeah, another Brian. Hey, I've been wanting to try to get a hold of you guys. I got a few things I wanted to share with you guys when it comes to like some, how do you guys call it, the dreams and stuff that kind of astral dreams, or how do you guys say that?
Lucid dreaming?
Lucid dreaming?
Yeah, lucid dreams. Okay. I've had quite a few of them, and I think they might have some bearing on some things for you guys.
Were we there? Were we there?
What's that?
Were we there?
No, I don't remember seeing you guys, but Let me give you just a taste of one of the last ones I had.
Please.
The last one I had was, I'm looking through my notes here because I've been keeping notes on these things. The last one I had to do with me being somewhere out in the field. And I was with some friends. I couldn't quite remember which friends it was or whatever, but it was around nighttime. And I happened to look up at the moon. And when I looked up at the moon was a rainbow color, okay? And it exploded, the bottom of it exploded, and all this rainbow color just came floating down onto Earth. And if you don't mind, could I just kind of read a little bit what I remember from the dream? If that's all right with you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this sounds awesome.
Basically, it says what I remember is like I woke up with a vivid dream about the moon. In the dream, it was, hold on here. In the dream, I was standing somewhere on Earth, possibly Ohio, which is where I'm from, but I'm not sure. I was standing there with some friends in a field when I looked up, and the moon was exploding with a fantastic array of rainbow colors. I knew at that moment what was happening when I witnessed this outpouring of color falling to Earth. It was finally over, I felt in my heart. The liberation of our planet from the darkness. The darkness that had held us and our planet captive for eons with wars, financial slavery, and scarcity was over. This massive release of rainbow light signaled a new era upon Earth, an era of peace, abundance for all to enjoy. And then after that, the moon came down and crashed to Earth, but nothing happened as far as anybody got hurt or anything like that. And I remember from what I could feel from the dream when I woke up that it was extraterrestrials that were talking to me after the moon had crashed or whatever. And they had spoke to me and said, it's time for you guys to start anew. And I kind of didn't understand it. But, you know, listening to you guys' show and stuff like that, it kind of makes sense. Looking back at some of the shows and what's kind of going on and some of the other things that are going on. And some of the other dreams I have, if you don't mind me just kind of just putting them out there real quick.
Can I ask you, though, before you do, because I do want to hear them, have you posted these anywhere online? Because that is just brilliant.
Yeah, I love it, too. I'm thinking about all the symbology.
Let me give you a little background to what started this. Back in October, when I had my 40th birthday, I just graduated college with criminal justice degree back in September or so. And I like to sit out in the backyard and have a little campfire. And this is October, a couple days after my birthday on the weekend. I was sitting out in the back of the yard here down in Florida. And I was facing towards the north, and off to my left, it would have been coming across my area going to the Miami side, so it would have been kind of southeast kind of direction. And I seen this V formation of kind of like, you know how when you look at stars, the whiteness of the stars and stuff, and at first the sun was kind of setting already, and it was just kind of getting dark, so I couldn't quite tell. And I thought it was maybe a flock of birds. So I'm kind of watching, and they kind of flew by, and I stood up as they flew over me, and I realized what I was looking at. I seen UFOs, and they were orb-shaped. There was 6 to 8 of them in a V formation, and they flew past. I'm thinking to myself, what the heck did I just see? I'm, you know, kind of going through my mind and trying to figure this out. It's like, did I just see what I think I saw? And then lo and behold, 5-10 minutes later, the same thing, but then now they were coming from north to south off to the left side And I stood up and I looked, and I wanted to, get a good detail of it. I'm thinking to myself, okay, let me see how many there are, try to count them, blah, blah, blah. And I counted about 6 to 8 on each side in the V formation, so there's 12 to 16 total. And I'm freaking out by this time, and I'm like, holy shit, did I just see what I think I just saw twice? So I'm thinking, okay, I got to get a camera. I got to figure something out, right? Well, my roommate's camera at the time wasn't working and stuff, so I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to have to try to get more visual if I see him again. Well, another 10 minutes go by. Sure enough, here they come again from north to south to the left side of me. And I stood up. Well, before that, I told myself, if I see these guys again, I'm going to stand up, hooting, and hollering, and point at them, right? Whatever. And about 10, 15 minutes later, they come by again the third time, coming from a north to south direction. Well, this time, I seen one that was in the center behind the V formation, and this one switched positions with one of the ones on the wing side, and they swapped positions where the other one took the center position behind the V formation, and that one took the wing position. And they were like a star white, but they had like a kind of like a blue hue around them, but they were definitely orbs. And ever since then, I would say about springtime, I've been having these vivid dreams. And I remember back with American Kabuki, and he had put something up about that Tesseract ball. The soccer ball, the 5-dimensional soccer ball, or whatever you guys call it.
That would have been G.W. Harden's Tetra thingy. Is that the one?
Yeah, it's it was like where he got a thing sent to his email, and it was like a soccer ball looking thing, but it was a 5-dimensional. I guess you guys called it a Tesseract or something. But
yep, I don't know.
Before anybody knew what it was, 2 weeks before whoever figured out what it was, I had this dream, and I seen the soccer ball, but on the soccer ball, the lines, intersecting lines of the soccer ball, they were math formulas. And I couldn't quite figure it out. I didn't see the whole soccer ball. I just kept seeing the lines, and they had the hexagon-type shape or whatever, and it would connect, and that's all I would see. And I just kept seeing all these lines and stuff that would connect, and they had these math formulas. Well, 2 weeks later, I had this, where he had put this out that somebody figured out what it was and stuff and kind of announced it to everybody on his website. Well, that was one of the things. And then one of the other things, or quite a few other things that happened is, let me kind of look at my list, because I tried to call you guys last night, and I couldn't get through. And so it's kind of, I just wanted to share this with you guys, because I think it's important in some way, shape, or form, and I just kind of wanted to share it with you. But
have you done any research on the moon yourself?
On what?
Have you looked into the moon? The information that's out there about the moon and what yeah.
Well, unfortunately, right now I'm kind of in a bad situation. I'm about to be homeless come this Friday, and it's kind of sad being a college graduate that you got to be homeless, but it is what it is. But
where are you at the moment?
Where am I at? I'm down here in Cape Coral, Florida. And
well, if anybody out there in Florida knows of anywhere where this Brian can potentially go, let us know.
Yeah, and Brian, hey, start changing the way you're saying that too. Start saying I'm about to change residences.
Well,
Yeah,
that's why I'm not so much worried about it. I feel this is like some journey I got to go through or whatever. I mean, it kind of, it's not the journey I would want to go through, but obviously it's for a reason, so.
Sure, and what if it's like way better? So,
yeah, well, that's what I'm kind of hoping and stuff. But some of the other ones
you're going to create it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do. Like I said, I'm trying to be positive about it, and I do my thing and stuff. And I'm here with my dog Princess and stuff, and luckily my neighbor let me run an extension cord over so we can have a fan and keep the fridge on temporarily, and so it is what it is for now, and just doing what I can to do. But
hey, if you've been listening to this call, do you remember Randy? Do you know how quickly Randy changed the situation?
I didn't listen to the first hour. Because I was over talking to my neighbor to ask them if I could leave some clothes over there and some of my other personal things, because I don't have a vehicle.
Randy called into this show about a month ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, and one day he called into the One People show and said he wanted to acquire this property, and he was going to go through the process of going to the bank and trying to get finance and doing all that, but he had no deposit, no nothing, but he just really felt strongly that he should have this property.
Right.
And he was sort of coached a little bit on the call. The following day, he rang back and called us from the property because the owner had contacted him, and without any money, without any down payment, they had come to an arrangement of an exchange, and that's now Randy's property. So it happened in 24 hours. It actually happened in a hell of a lot less. So just decide what you want.
Right, and the coaching was, why go through all the steps when you don't have to? Just imagine it being yours. And man, it happened.
This is my property. This is my ex-fiance's property.
What would you like to go to next?
What's that?
Mm-hmm. What would you like to go to next? What would you like to move on to?
Well, I would like
What's
to
the
be
next
able to
step in your adventure?
Well, right now it looks like I'm riding a bike and going.
That's not what I asked.
Church or something.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, I mean,
get rid of the limits, baby. Get rid of the limits. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Just think without limits. Imagine what would feel really good. What would that be? Imagine that. Tell us what would that be for you? If there were no limits on what your next situation would look like, what would it look like to you?
And I've already, looked at all that, and I always keep that in the forefront. My whole thing is to try to get myself some property and stuff, and because my family's not close. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons, I reached out to my family, and because I believe in what I believe in, just like you guys, they basically turned their back on me, and and I called my dad up recently to ask him, for some help and stuff, and just so I can get a job and get back on my feet until things, get a little bit better and stuff, and I'm not trying to call my sister and other family members, and everybody just, because of what I believe in, just kind of turned their back on me. And I just feel, that for whatever reason it is what it is, I'm not going to dwell on it because I'm a positive person. I've succeeded in it, doing a lot of things in life and stuff, and I'm not going to let their misunderstanding about what I believe in, bring me down or keep me from believing in what I believe in, I guess.
Brian,
so, I mean, like I said, go ahead, Bob.
Brian, if I were to tell you today, right now, okay, that I had assured knowledge, and this isn't a make-believe thing, that tomorrow you were going to get a check for $1 billion. You can count on it. What would you do? Where would you go? And how would you live?
I would find a place big enough so any of my family members, especially my brother, because he's kind of in a bad situation himself, and invite him and his wife and their
any
child.
Particular?
I would like
Do you have any place
stay
in mind?
down here in Florida. I'd like to stay in Florida just because it's sunny, and
okay.
I just, I got a lot.
Okay.
Then after that, I would like to help people that are in similar situations like myself. You know, I listen to you guys.
So you're looking for a place in Florida that's big enough for you and your family members, whoever they may be. A place that's comfortable that you can work from. I'm taking it, and helping other people.
Right.
Okay.
Remember, it's $1 billion. $1 billion. Limits are not around now.
I mean, I don't need much, you know, for myself. It's more to help other people. You know, give them the opportunity to, I guess, like you guys say, you know, realize your value. You know, I just need enough for myself.
You can't give away something. Brian, you can't give away something you don't have first. Whatever it is that you want to give to other people, you've got to have it for yourself first. That's peace of mind, you know, whatchamacallit, a sense of security, a sense of well-being, a sense of self-worth.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I definitely take care of myself first. I definitely get myself situated and grounded.
Okay. Because anything that comes into your consciousness, Brian, and I had a mentoring session earlier today, and I said the same thing. Anything that comes into your consciousness, which is something that does not resonate with you or something that you don't want to experience, you know, I'm going to be homeless, or this is going to happen, or that's going to happen. When that comes into your consciousness, I immediately know that is something I don't need to worry about.
Right, and I'm not. I looked at it actually as an adventure. You know, I'm not worried about it, I guess is what I'm saying. I mean, I know it sucks. I know it's going to be difficult, but it is what it is.
Kind of breaking up a little bit, but I got the gist of what you were saying.
Okay. We're having a bad thunderstorm.
I didn't hear your dream though, Brian.
What's that?
And if you're going to...
I think we're losing his connection.
I think we're losing him. Okay, I'll come back to him and see if we can hear more about his dream after we take another couple of callers, because we're down to the limit here. Area code 612.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
This is, Lisa, Bob, and I'll call you Joy Girl. And Dee, back there, I love you. I love y'all. It's Elizabeth.
I think we're all Transformer.
Yeah.
Huh?
Bob, you're not, though, am I?
Can you hear me?
Okay.
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Oh, am I breaking up too? Oh. This is
no,
Elizabeth,
we can...
Minnesota.
Elizabeth.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, guys.
Can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear me? Anyway, as you guys talk, I get more and more on my list, but I'll just be short. Lisa, listen, be careful, girl, what you want to manifest. Did you notice? You know, you talked about the crystal yesterday and the crystal on the break on the phone, and guess who was the first caller? Crystal.
I have no idea what she's saying. Be careful, girl. That's what I heard.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, that's Crystal weird. Was... I get it.
Yes, yes. See?
Yes. That's 3 crystals that turned up.
There you go. Isn't that awesome? You guys never noticed that. I had to notice it for you. So be careful. What you're manifesting really, really good, Lisa. Okay. Am I breaking up?
I'm not catching. Yeah. Is it just me, or is she picking up from?
Everybody is good.
Can you guys hear?
No, like not up in the area.
Can you hear me?
Apparently the callers can hear Crystal.
I think it's the board because it's not my phone.
Yeah, it may be the Blog Talk board.
There you go. Your Skype sound better. Do I sound better?
Oh, that's better.
Thank you for pointing that out, Dawn. Thank you very much.
We need the crystals. Come here, crystals. On the Blog Talk board, right? Okay.
Guys, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry because apparently we're breaking up all over the place, but I'm going to keep talking. Sorry.
We can do that pretty well.
I'm just going to reset the board, Lisa. Can everybody in the chat room hear us clearly, or is it just on our end?
It's just you, apparently.
I think they're all saying everybody's kind of out, but you, Bob.
Yeah, everybody sounds different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead
and say it, if that works.
You're in Roto, Judy. Okay, what about now, guys? Can you hear me?
No, you're still transformer, right? Jiggle the handlebar, Rob. Jiggle. That's Patrick.
Well, I can reset the call if you like.
We'll lose everybody. We'll lose everybody in the chat room. It's only 15, 20 minutes ago anyway, so unfortunately, we just have to call it quits at this point.
But you're not too bad, Lisa.
Unless you want to talk for the next 15 minutes, Bob.
If I want to talk for the next 15 minutes, I probably could talk for the next 15 minutes. But one of the things that I wanted to, convey to Brian, and Brian, if you're still listening, a lot of times there are programs running in our minds, limiting programs, that we have the idea that, everything has to happen according to, quote unquote, my past experience. This is what I know. This XYZ happens, that equals PDQ. Understand, consciousness trumps physics. This is not a belief. This is a proven fact. Look into quantum physics. Consciousness trumps physics. Now, if you have the ability to have clear consciousness dictate your reality, whatever is physically in your reality doesn't matter at all. I don't care what circumstance you're in. It doesn't matter, because your consciousness can manipulate the laws of physics itself. So there's nothing impossible. So dream the improbable and settle for the impractical. This is the new technology, I believe, that we all really need to develop. Like I said to him, whenever it appears that something negative is about to befall me, and I have that in my consciousness, there's going to be some sort of whatever impending, I immediately...
Bob,
yes, I can hear you.
Do a meditation, sweetie, and I'm clearing all of this. I'm letting go of all of the programming. I want to hear a Bob meditation. So you can turn this round into a meditation. A Bobitation, as Mushy just said in the background.
Okay, we can try one.
And I'll
but you know what?
You're doing rant anyway.
I don't even know. I don't even know that I could even get to because the Blog Talk board has just completely frozen.
The music goes. And I'll forget what everybody.
I can't even.
I'll put it on. You just keep talking.
What I was trying to say is, I immediately say to myself about these things this is something I don't need to worry about. Because it's not something that I choose. It's not something that resonates with me. And I immediately dismiss it. And people will say, oh, well, you're living in a fairy tale. You're living in a fantasy. You're not grounded in reality. And I was like, wow, I created a fairy tale. Wouldn't you want to live in a fairy tale? This is, one of those things that you really have to embody in your mind and in your heart, that you have the power to do anything, to alter reality. And this sense of powerlessness, which is so pervasive in our consciousness, is something that we all really need to just let go of. Because there is nothing about you, nothing about your being that is powerless. It is just the opposite. You are almighty creator, each and every one of you. And you have to, more than just believe that, you have to know it. And what helped me to know it is actually studying, how consciousness works, and how it actually interacts with our physical world, by looking at quantum physics, looking at videos and studying and seeing how things work at the quantum level, and you understand, wow, this isn't just an idea. There's scientific evidence that shows that this is true. And now I can incorporate that as knowledge, as fact. And then you begin to do it. And it works. It works. I'm going to give you a for instance. And this is a true story. I was coming back from Morocco, and Lisa could attest to this, because as I was leaving, I had some of the king's hash, which is hash that comes from the palace of the king in a stamp. And I wanted to bring some back with me, and everybody was like, oh, I wouldn't go through, TSA, blah, 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 and whatever, da, da, da. And I immediately knew that was something I did not need to worry about. I packed it in a bottle of sand in my bag, right, and I took off. Now, when I got through customs, right, and they actually chose me as one of the random picks to check my bag, they're going through my bags. They pull out this bottle of sand. You know the bottle of sand I'm talking about, Lisa. And
yes, sir.
He empties it out, and he finds the hash.
Oh, shit.
Right? Pulls it out. It's like this. And I said, please put that back. That is sacred sand for my healing. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. He put it back in, and he poured the sand back in the bottle, and he put it on a cap, put it back in my bag, and says he's okay, and let me go. Now, I tell you, it was... I have not heard it. It was almost like I used a Jedi mind trick. There are no droids. There's nothing to see here. Wave my hand. But it actually happened that way. And, because it wasn't part of my experience. I didn't need to experience that. And I didn't worry about it. And even in that moment, I wasn't worried about it. This is how you override, your past experience. This is how you override reality. Because it is all in your head. So, I can't even... Lisa, are you on the switchboard?
I'm still laughing. I can't believe you do this. You are so funny. What did you want me to do? Sorry.
No, I was just wondering if the switchboard if the Blog Talk board studio was working for you.
As far as I know, it is.
Because
what do you want me to do?
I was going to try and see if I can find the meditation music.
Yes, I can. Which one would you like?
Hemisync.
Okay. Hemisync, yep.
Okay. Give it a go. Okay. I'd like for everyone to relax. Find your chair, lounge, wherever it is that you can be comfortable. And breathe. Deep breath in the nose and out of your mouth. With each breath, you are continually relaxing the muscles in your body, the tension in your shoulders, relaxing your jaw and your throat, your neck and your spine, your torso and your legs, all the way down to your toes, till you are feeling almost weightless, floating in an empty space of nothingness. There are no cares, no worries, nothing to concern yourself. You are secure and at peace in this space. And I want you to enter within. I want you to move deep inside your thoughts. See the web of connections moving as flashes of light across a network, interwoven and intertwined in your mind. And within these channels, there are certain knots, blockages, stopping signals from moving through. I want you to move to these areas and breathe energy to this space. Allow each of these knots to loosen and untangle themselves. And with each knot you loosen, you release a limitation, and you feel the release of it. The tension is gone. And so you move to the next area. Each part begins to unfold, unravel. And you feel the ease moving as your brain and your mind begins to illuminate with different colors that you've not seen before, in different areas that you've not seen before, where all limitations are removed and all that is left is limitless possibility. Your imagination is awakened once again, and you remember your things as though you were a child,